Hey, you fabulous bunch of people, welcome to Mood, the podcast that's here to sprinkle a little humour, drop some wisdom bombs, and occasionally let out a well-placed swear word or two. Mood, we're relatable as fuck.
Hello. Happy New Year!
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is the last time.
Probably
the first time this year I would have said that with meaning. Happy New Year. Happy New Year,
I only
everyone.
mean it to you lot. Everyone else I say it to is just purely because okay, so we've been having these conversations at work, right? Like, when do you stop saying Happy New Year? Like, me, I feel like if you haven't said it in your first week, or at least like the second week max, you're not allowed to say it anymore after that.
Yeah.
What about you?
1st of January.
Hi, Happy New Year. Right,
Yeah, fine, we're done. Yeah. And it's one of those weird ones, isn't it, where you say you're like in the 3rd week of Jan, but you haven't seen someone since last year. Do you say Happy New Year? Or if the first time you're emailing a client is like the second half of January, do you still say Happy New Year? It's just never ending.
It doesn't ever end. I remember years ago, I had someone from an agency message me. I messaged like February, and we're like Happy New Year, and I was like, it's just not allowed to do February. It's illegal. Like you can't be messaging at that time.
Yeah,
but yeah. I'd say 1st, 2nd week max. I think we're good.
Yeah, we should be like dialing down the Happy New Year by now.
Yeah, legit. Yeah. So happy Valentine's Day.
Merry Christmas. Yeah. Well, you never know. By the time this one goes out, it'll probably be 1st of Jan 2026.
It probably will be. Based on our track record.
Yeah.
But we are very happy to say this is the first episode of 2025, and this is episode 19, which means we are one away from episode 20. So.
Oh my gosh.
My goodness. And it means we're on track for my 40 things before 40, which is to do 40 podcasts. So no pressure on that, but we've got a load more work to be getting on with.
But hold on a minute. Do you know what? We've just completely forgotten. I think it's our 1-year anniversary of Mood.
Yes.
No, I think it is.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, darling.
What'd you get me?
Me? And what'd you get me?
Me and Sass.
Yeah.
And everything else alongside it.
I think it is. I remember the 8th of Jan being but we've missed it. It was yesterday. But
even that we're late with.
But I remember the 8th of Jan stood out in my head. This is the 8th of January 2024, and it's our first episode of Mood. Oh, it's 1 year.
It's been 1 year.
Wow.
We should do like we look very different even in a year. We look different from our first one to now.
We do.
We're aging nicely and gracefully and hot,
100%.
Very hot. So gorgeous.
Gorgeous. And the filters with AI just get better. So yeah, that's it.
Right? Well, happy anniversary. It's been a very lovely first year with you, my love.
Yeah. Wow. I'm just sorry that I totally forgot. We should have known, but I just too excited to just get back on it, I think.
And I guess it's such a bad time just to tell you that by tomorrow I don't want to do the podcast with you anymore.
Yeah.
We'll just call it a day.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah. Well, one away from 20. Yeah.
I quit. I'm done. Thank you.
Oh. We've got to do your 44-40 list, because I've got 40 on my list as well. So
I think, do you want to tell us a bit about your list? Because obviously people kind of know a few bits of my one, but no, you're also getting old like I am, so let's do it.
I am also getting old. So, I do turn 39 this year. I think we said this before, but in like UK terms, I would have been in the same school year as Lex. I'm just the later half of the year. So I do turn 39 in a few months. And so got the idea from Lex that I would also do a 40 before 40 list. I'm halfway there. Mine's a bit random. I can read off a couple if you'd like a little teaser of what's on it. But I will post it. Oh my God, where is it? Imagine if I deleted it. I will post it onto our Mood, and we can track it on our Mood account. And I know you're tracking it on your Chubsy's account as well. So
no, let's put both of them on it so we can like, track it on our little thing. Mm-hmm.
So I've got 20. Pick 21. So pick a number between 1 and 21. I'll tell you what's on it.
I'll go for my favourite number, which is number 2.
Oh, learn to make a quiche. Thought you'd like that one.
Listen, goals. Your goals are your goals. Oh, I'm so glad I picked number 2.
Yes, me too.
Why in particular a quiche?
Right. So I do love a quiche.
Right.
Cool. And I remember something stands out, and Dave also loves a quiche. I remember when we first started going out, actually, and he was still living at home for a bit. And he said his mum had 5 kids, right? So Dave is one of 5. And basically, when they all moved out, she's like, I'm done with cooking. I'm done with like looking after you lot and whatever. And then, but there were times where like either Dave or one of his brothers or sister would move back home for like a short stint. And so when we first started going out, he was at home for a while, and he said his mum had made him a quiche, but totally forgot to like put anything in it, and literally was like, so she like put a she just like literally just stuck the bacon on top. So I was like, so she made you an egg pie with like a bacon topping. So it was basically that, and then a couple of years ago, whenever the coronation was, I can't remember, and so we always like rip her about it and go, oh yeah, your mum made you an egg pie and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, when it was a coronation, she thought, oh, she's going to try and redeem herself again, so she made a quiche, but then the egg was raw.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
In that as well. She was like, so, and I'm like,
I'd give up that job.
And I do like, I don't think I've really had like a really good one, and so I thought, do you know what? I'm going to learn to make a fucking quiche.
Go you? Why not?
Yeah,
Fuck it.
why not?
That's something different. I don't think anyone's got that on their 40 before 40 list, probably for a reason, but I think just do your thing, babe. Like, go you? Yeah, I know. Who am I to say all these things? No, I was terrible. No, do what you feel is right, and that sounds like a fun thing. And you have
there
to.
You go.
Now you have to document it, right? Because we want to see what that quiche looks like and how to that.
Fucking hell.
Because you've been slagging off Dave's mum's quiches, so
Yeah.
you got some work to do.
Fair. Go on, pick another one. Let's see if you can pick another fun one on here.
Give me 13,
Oh.
please.
Learn to make a pastel di nata.
Awesome. Okay.
I like my egg. Do you know what it? Do you don't know what it is?
What is a pastel di nata? I've never heard of that.
Right. In Nando's. Okay, go on.
Carry on,
in Nando's.
In Nando's.
Yeah.
How do you say it? Pastel di nata. Okay, pastel di nata, right?
Yeah.
Oh, like a egg tart.
Like an egg tart. Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. Not even like it is an egg tart. Look, you get like pastel di nata egg tart. Very eggy.
It's very eggy. It is eggy. I think. Right. Go on. One more.
You said you got 20, right?
Yeah. 21.
Number 7.
Record 40 podcast episodes. But that's
okay, cool. It's the same as me.
That one. Same as you.
Let's do another one. 18.
Oh, host a cheese and wine night.
It's very food orientated, Joe, and I like it. It's different. I'll give you like.
It isn't all food. It isn't all food.
Give me, all right, tell me one that isn't, that I won't choose a number because otherwise we'll be all day trying to guess what you're food. So.
Right. Let me pick one which isn't food related. Okay, so I want to set up a minute to win it games night.
A minute to win. Okay, I like that.
Yeah,
that's a good shout.
I love I don't think I do enough games nights. I love like games and all of that sort of stuff and like having friends around, and we don't do it enough. I'd probably say I'd maybe do it once a year, if that, or not enough. But do you know the minute to win it games? Apparently there's a program called Minute to Win It as well. Never heard of it. So I was looking into this the other day. But do you know games like when you put a biscuit on your face and you got to try and do that and get it in a minute, and like your other weird expressions stuff
in that, by the way.
Or then we should try it on the podcast. We should do some minute to win it. So the After Eight mint one, because I know you can do it with that one. That's it.
And obviously it has to be gluten free.
Yeah.
Fuck my life, but carry on.
But the good thing with that as well is like when it gets hot and you're getting sweaty and then you're left with like this chocolate mark down your face. Or there's like the one where there's loads of different ones like I really want to do, and I always see them, like I follow various I don't know what you'd call them, but there are people who post like these minute to win it games. So it's mainly like stuff you would probably play at Christmas.
You get to do it as a party.
Exactly.
Thing.
I'd love to just do it as like a party thing. I think you inspired me because you did like a Mafia night, and I still haven't played Mafia, but I want to do that as well.
You need to. Yeah. So for those who've not heard of, I mean, it's all got different names. It's technically like Traitor,
like Traitors.
Yes, but we call it Mafia and Villages, and it was introduced to me the game by friends of mine, and then I've been playing it with like my family and friends, and like it's just basically you're all in a group together. 2 of you are Mafia. Everyone's got different rules for it as well. I've played it with a couple of people and they've all got different rules, but 2 of you are Mafia that nobody else knows who the Mafia are apart from you two, and then everybody else is villagers, and the whole point is to convince the villagers that you are a villager, and obviously chuck out whoever like else you think is a Mafia instead. And it's very, very like deceiving game. You're lying, you're bullshitting for your teeth, but it's fun. And because there's like kind of one person who hosts it, so they know who the Mafias are, and they kind of like help run the game. But the shit staring and the fallouts is just on another level. Like it's brilliant. But I'd say it's definitely worth the game if you haven't played it already. But there is one thing on my 40 list that I kind of wanted to change ever so slightly. It's not one thing. I actually wanted to add something, essentially almost making it 41. But I actually really want to host an R&B brunch. There's been like something.
Yes.
And maybe we can add your minute in
do it part of it. I would host that section of it for you, and we could just blend our lists. Yeah,
I've been wanting to do actually like a fitness one, like a fitness style R&B brunch where it's like, and I've been chatting about it with Anna because I was like, I have this idea, but I don't know whether it will go ahead. It's just one of those things. I was like, it came into my head. And I was like, that'd be so cool to have like. You'd have like all good, like really decent food. You'd have like protein waffles and like smoothies, and so obviously you could have alcohol and stuff in it too. But it'd be like a really fun thing. And then like you'd come like rather than all dressed up, you'd come in like your best like gym gear essentially, like and just have fun and dance to shit. You don't have to get all dressed up, be comfortable, but like play some banging tunes and all that stuff. So that's one of the dreams at some point. But yeah, we can totally do that.
I'm down.
Give me one more of your 20 things at the moment before 40.
My 20 things at the moment before 40, which isn't food related.
Is it like personal goals, like an actual personal one for you?
Or
just a completely random one. Go nuts, wherever you want.
Drive on a motorway?
Have you never driven on a motorway before?
I have, but I'm not willingly. If I'm trying to route something on Google Maps, I will avoid motorways.
Really?
And if going on the motorway will take me 20 minutes, or going not on the motorway will take me an hour and a half, I will take the 90-minute journey. Just not confident on it. I've been on it, but I've been on the M25 by accident. And then it was like pissing it down with rain. I was like, get me off here. I think I was signalling to get into like the merge lane, and I panicked. I like panicked big time.
It's so funny. There's so many people that I know that are like really not confident on the motorway, and they're not comfortable. Did you do like the Pass Plus thing as well?
I didn't. No, did you?
Yeah, I did do it. But I was the same. I ended up by accident on a motorway. That's how I first got into doing it, because I was always wanting to do it, but I was a bit scared. And then I remember coming home from something and I by accident took a wrong turning, ended up on the motorway, and was a bit like, well, I guess this is the time I'm gonna have to do it. Like, let's just get on with it.
Yeah.
And now it doesn't bother me. The only thing is always a bit like the horrible bit is the coming off it, coming on it, like going onto a motorway is always a bit like, oh God, and coming off it is always a bit, oh God. And then especially when you know like lanes are going to need to be changed, because it's like those bits are always a little bit, but I just think like as long as you're not going nuts, like I always tend to stay in like the left or the middle lane max. I'll only ever do like the fast lane late at night if there's nobody around, and I know I can go a bit more with not the idea of someone's up my arse or anything. But yeah, it's really interesting. And I know people that have always driven on motorways, they're now losing confidence now they're getting older, being on a motorway, which I find really interesting as well. It's like an anxiety thing, but and I don't know what the solution is. I'll be honest. Like I think
it is just like you say, like that's it. You just have to do it, or you find yourself in a situation where you're forced to do it. It's like I this is really embarrassing now, and I think I've said this before. I only started like learning to reverse park like about 6 months ago, or however long it was. I just never did it. I always just drove into spaces, and I was circling this car park for ages. And if I'm parking like before I learned how to reverse park, I always look for big spaces so I can drive into them, or a space, or double spaces, or whatever. And so I was circling this car park for like not like 20 minutes, and the kids were going mad. And there was like one space, like a little tiny thing, where I was like, I'm gonna have to reverse park into it. And then I did it. I was like, oh, that was easy. It was like, I just used my mirrors. It was like, oh, someone...
A lot of the time I think we talk ourselves out of things, and we don't just go for it. And if we've had a bad experience, then you're scared to do it again. Does your car have like cameras or anything like that kind of help steer? Because I sometimes I find those worse. I'm the same as you.
I want control.
What I can see. Same.
It's got like a cruise control. But I'll be like, I don't like that. I want to be able to control the speed and stuff. And I just think it's the speed in which people are going. I think I'm fine to drive on a motorway. It's the other drivers that I can't manage on the motorway. And I think that's what it is. Yeah. And then it's the speed of, because I'm not that confident a driver, the speed in which you need to react and think. Basically.
I think this is why... I always try and like stay back as much as possible, and it's like that's why I'd rather sometimes go slower, because I'm like at least I know I can be more in control and I can change it. And unfortunately, you're putting your safety with other people who maybe haven't got the same idea as you have and stuff. I do find though, saying that, I've noticed I get a bit more nervous if someone else is driving on the motorway and I'm passenger, because I don't obviously have that control to control the car. So that I've noticed a little bit. I also think that's Rick's driving, because he drives quite fast, and I think and he brakes quite. Me personally, he brakes quite last minute as far as I'm concerned. So if I was sat to him, then he'd probably say I'm too careful. I don't know. It's like one of those things where you just don't come to an agreement. But it is one of those things you've got to face your fears. It's not really. And the more you do it, I think the more you're comfortable. I think it's a case of, if you're someone who doesn't do it a lot as well, then you're not getting used to doing it. I think there's that also.
Exactly that. And I'm one of those people as well, where if I take a wrong turning, or I've ended up on the motorway before and I've missed an exit or whatever, I would literally just carry on to Cardiff or something. That is like Dave's like surprised I haven't yet ended up like on those roads. But it's there's a lot of meh, fuck off, like leave me alone. I'm trying my best.
There's been many a time I've taken a wrong turn and I'm like, fuck, and now I've got to take like another 20 minutes to my journey to just go all the way back around again. I've definitely done that.
Or like if I'm in the wrong lane and, rather than, and there's like a long row of cars like in the next lane, rather than just signal to like move into it, I'll just be like, it's all right. I'll just, I wanted to go to Cardiff anyway. It's fine. Honestly,
of course I want to go up north. I'm cool with that. Yeah. Nice scenic view. Nice scenic little route for me.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Yeah. That's a good one to do before you're 40. I think all of those are good ideas. It's not what I was expecting. So it's quite funny to hear your ones, because like I just did not have you in mind of doing quiches and what's that other thing called again? The
pastel de nata.
Pastel de nata.
Have you tried one? Do you like Nando's?
Yes, Lynette, I like Nando's.
So they do them. Order it next time you go. I don't know if it's gluten free, but maybe they do a gluten free. It's
definitely not gluten free.
Oh, is it not?
So I will. I have. Do you know what? Like, I like eggs and stuff. Egg desserts, I'm not the biggest fan of, if I'm honest.
Okay.
Like things like that. So they always look like, it looks tasty, but it's not my. If you make me a gluten free one, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
Feel free to
add that to the list. I mean, add it to the list.
Add that to the list. 41.
Yeah.
So
yeah. There you go.
Oh, interesting.
My little teaser. I'm going to finish it. The aim is to finish it in the next couple of weeks.
Finish it. Let's post it. Yeah, I like that.
And then we could do a little segment of where we're at with or maybe do one live or something.
Yes. You know what? I felt like I went a bit too extreme with my ones, because some of them I'm like, it's already January, and I'm like, how many of these realistically am I actually going to achieve? Like, I mean, which ones am I actually really going to be able to achieve? But we'll see. That's the whole point in it, is to push yourself to get some of those things done. But
is it?
We all know I'm the greatest procrastinator, so they'll probably get done end of October, just before my birthday.
Yeah,
just get
we'll do it all.
All in one day.
40 days before 40. Let's do one a day. Let's go.
Tattoo, drive a supercar, do 40 push-ups, and like whatever else I put on there.
Nice.
Yeah, like one of the girls, Lenny, actually was like, oh, why don't you drive a supercar? And I was like, yeah, that's actually a really cool idea. I wouldn't mind doing that. That'd be quite fun if I could fit into it. But other than that, yes, I'm totally
Oh,
See how we get on.
it'll
So
be
it should be
good.
good. So I have a question. Did you do any
Yes.
would you rathers? Because I'm very last minute as usual.com. Nothing's changed. I just very quickly scrolled on a site and found, but they're all really random ones. I won't lie. And I'm a bit
Yeah.
scared now reading them out loud. But yeah, if you've got any, go for it.
I haven't actually. I didn't do my homework this
Oh, look at you, little
oh,
rebel.
sorry. Yeah. It's my
All
New
right,
Year's
I have a.
resolution.
Let me throw in a random one. I did see this one and it did kind of make me giggle, even though it's like inappropriate. But anyways, it said, "Would you rather receive an alert every time your parents are going to have sex, or have your parents receive an alert every time you're going to have sex?"
Ugh. Ugh.
Ugh.
Um. Oh,
I think I would rather they get the text. I don't want to know when they're having sex.
no.
I don't care if
No.
they know that I'm having sex.
Yeah.
My mum would be like, "Good on you." Like, I don't know.
I think I would probably be the other way around.
You'd rather want to know when they're having
Yeah,
sex.
I don't want them
Okay.
to know. I'd rather they not know.
Hmm.
I'd take
I
that
suppose it
pain.
gives you a heads up to not call them or go around at that
Yeah,
time.
yeah. God, that's gross. That's
hmm
gross.
I told you there
Yeah,
were random ones. I literally went on like this weird site and I was like, that will do.
that will
Um,
do.
let me see if there's any others. Oh, they're all, oh God, they're all sex. Hang on a sec. I wanted like ones that were just like random ones, but they're all like kinky. So,
Nice.
let me see this one. So
Go on.
random. Would you rather smell like cheese, which has been left in the sun, or smell like a hamster cage, which hasn't been cleaned for a fortnight?
Hamster cage.
Hamster cage. Yeah, I agree with hamster cage. You can get
Hamster
away with that
cage.
smell.
Yeah, because you can walk into like pets at home and like I don't mind it. Like a couple
Yeah,
of
but has
weeks, you
that
know what
poop
I
been
mean?
sitting there for a fortnight though? There's that
Yeah,
mind
you
it might have
probably.
been.
Yeah, that's true. But like sometimes when you've got like a smelly cheese in the fridge and you open the fridge and like, woo, shut that fridge. Yeah, and it just really hits you. Whereas like the hamster smell, I think wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Let me find one more for us. Um, would you rather be funny but really stupid, or boring but really smart?
Would you rather be funny or really stupid? We'll say it again. Please
Would you
repeat the
rather?
question, please.
I will. I will, Lynette. Thank you. Would you rather be funny but really stupid, or boring but really smart?
Boring and smart.
I feel like you'd still be interesting in some kind of way, right? But
Yeah.
then you know, the idea of no one ever laughing at me again actually really upsets
Oh
me. So
yeah,
I
it's
don't
quite
like,
sad. Yeah.
because
Not
I
seeing
like being
people
funny.
smile, not being able to make people
Yeah,
laugh and smile.
but then I
Yeah.
don't want to be the butt of the joke if they're laughing at me, not with me. There is that too.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to be
Yeah.
boring and really smart.
Boring and smart. We did
Yeah.
this game actually over Christmas. It's called Herd Mentality. So I played it with a couple. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I
And
have, but I don't really know it too well. So please feel free to elaborate.
yeah, so like the aim of it is, and it's a game where you really need to know your audience and know the group of people that you're playing it. Because the aim of it is that you don't want to be the odd one out. You want to answer the question the same as like as everyone else. And if you're the odd one
Yeah.
out, then basically you lose. So yeah, so that's basically it. And we played with a couple, and one of the questions was, would you rather be really rich or really smart? And it was funny because the couple answered really rich, and then me and Dave answered really
Really
smart or really
smart.
really clever. But yeah, I think I still stick to that. I still want to be smart because you'd be smart enough to be able to like
Get
manage your
rich.
money and get rich. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that would be yeah,
Yeah, I'd rather smartness over money in that respect.
yeah.
But yeah, for definite. But yeah, it sounds like a good game actually. I've
It
got
is a good
like
one.
so obviously like Lena, who you guys will hear about, well, you would have known about by this point. But I'm really close with her and her partner, and like basically they're my brother's friends, and we do those kind of questions like all the time with all of like my brother
Yeah,
will always ask the most random thing. It turns into like big ass debates, and then yeah, actually, that game would be perfect for us because we kind
yeah.
of do that anyways. Like we've had the biggest debate we've had about it as well, though. It was like, so we had this big debate about do you believe in tarot cards, right? And okay, so firstly, do you believe in tarot cards?
I've
Is it
never
your
used
bag?
them personally. They're not really my bag. Although I do believe in like, and I don't know if this is along the same lines. Probably not. It's probably completely different. But like star signs and like traits of particular star
Yeah, yeah,
signs and just the kind of what you're born under, that type of thing. I think there's
yeah.
some element of truth in it. I don't know if tarot's like on that.
Yeah, I suppose it's, I mean, it's like not similar, but it is, right?
Yeah,
Like I like, I like reading about, I like reading about star signs. I really like the star sign thing. I like,
yeah,
it's just, I find it interesting. I know it's all, like you said, you're either that personality or you're not, because that's just
yeah,
obvious. Like, but obviously it's just your personality in general. It's not really anything to
yeah,
do with your star sign, I suppose, also. But
yeah.
I am someone who likes reading stuff like that. It's just my thing. But the tarot thing, like, got into like a massive debate because, like, I've had tarot done through like someone I know, and but I've not done things like go to a psychic and stuff like that. Like, it's not really my
No.
thing. But I just find it interesting what they're going to say, and I find it interesting because it's like it's obviously like a probability thing. If they say something, you got one in certain chance that it's probably just going to hit the nail on the head, and it's going to be like, oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. It's quite
Yeah,
general, isn't it, in terms of like, I guess it can be. Um, yeah. Like you say, like what's the likelihood or the probability that whatever they say might happen? Or you're gonna bump into a man, or okay,
yeah, yeah,
well, or something like that, or you're gonna get on the train, and I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I've never been to, like I say, never done the tarot reading
yeah.
thing. I've done like the it's not really a psychic, I don't know what you'd call it, maybe like a quack doctor and stuff like that, like in the
Quack
Philippines and
doctor.
stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what they call it. I think that's what they're called, like in the
Is it similar to
Philippines.
like a witch doctor, or is it
I
like
think so. Yeah, yeah,
okay?
yeah, yeah. I think so. But in the Philippines, like they're really hot on that sort of stuff. They love it. And then when I was 15, when I went there, my mum was like, "Oh, go and see this doctor." And then it was really weird. Like it was like, "Oh, you have this pain. You have this pain in your lower back." And I was like, "Well, I do actually. Yeah, I do." And then
Mentioned it.
I do. Exactly. It's one of
I
those
didn't
where it's
realize I
like,
had it. Yeah.
yeah, we're like you know what I mean. But yeah, and then he was like, "Oh, your neighbour. Oh, you live next to you live. This is who you live next to." And I was like, "How do you know that? How do you know who I live next to?" Like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
describe
yeah.
the person and stuff. But yeah, it's I don't know. Maybe because my mum told him. I don't know. Like
There is that as well.
there is that. But I'd like to believe there's like some element. I'm not like a total. What's the word? Is it Philistine? Is that the word? I'm not a total non-believer. I don't know if that is the word.
I feel like
Maybe.
no, I don't feel like that is the word. Like Philistine is things that we didn't put on the podcast.
Oh, yeah. Well, this one is on it actually.
Well, definitely. So the Philistine meaning, a person who is hostile or indifferent to culture and the arts. So yeah, it's not quite.
No, okay, so that's not
I
it.
get,
Well, I'm
I
not a
get what
total. Yeah,
I get
I'm
where you're
not a
going.
total non-believer. Like my family are very religious, and I am quite. There's elements where I'm quite superstitious and stuff like that. So, yeah, and the
Yeah,
Philippines is very very big on like superstitions and everything. But the way I kind of, if you look at it from like a Western point of view, obviously they're quite it's like a third world, it's like a developing country and all that sort of stuff. So really, like what they have is faith, and if you don't
yeah,
have that, then what do you have? And that's
yeah,
how
yeah,
I kind of see it and how I saw it growing up. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's actually quite nice because they're like
yeah.
very very religious. Every Sunday go to the big churches, and if something's not right you pray and all of this sort of stuff. So but it's nice to see that. But yeah.
Yeah, I get that. The Greeks were a little bit. I think we're a little bit like that in the fact of like, like the whole like I'm wearing one at the moment. I like the whole evil eye thing, right? Like I
Yeah.
do think that when people are over complimenting you on something, it's almost we say like put the muddy on you, which is almost like putting the like a curse on
Yeah.
you, like you're sort of
Yeah.
jinxing them essentially.
Yeah.
So I do. I'm always a bit like it because if I say, "Oh, so and so said this about me," like my family, and like and in Greek they'll be like, "Oh, like like God forbid," kind of thing. Like don't sort of say it too
Yeah.
much and stuff because you're sort of jinxing it and everything. So they're kind of it's a superstitious thing for definite, but like there is
Yeah.
that thing where you got people that are just because they're being nice to you or saying nice things doesn't mean they're rooting for you. Do you know what I mean? And I do believe that. And I used to always have this thing, I swear it's so random. Every time people would compliment my nails, like there would always be a nail that would bust like a week later or a day later. You'd be like, you're jinxing. Yeah. Back in the day before Biab. It was like, okay, people need to stop saying shit because I feel like they're now like trying to like curse my nails or something. Like it's insane. But the tarot thing is like, I'm the same. Like I'm not the biggest believer, but I'm just interested. Like I just find it interesting where people. So basically, I had a tarot agent like years ago, and it was a friend of mine, and she didn't know the situation I was going through at the time. Like whatsoever, I was going through some stuff, and just everything she said, and it's not me trying to interpret. She was very, she was quite specific, and I was a bit like, okay, that's really fucking weird. And I was just like, okay, I didn't say anything at the time. I was just like, okay, cool. Like, you know, just let her say her thing. And then my brother like absolutely rinsed me on it because he was just like,
really?
What? So you're saying she's magic? And I was like, no, I'm not saying she's magic. I just found it kind of weird. Like I was like, I just found it strange that she really picked up on stuff. So you're saying the cards are magic? I was like, I didn't even say that. I was like, I just think it's odd. Like he's like, it's kind of like he's like, so you're basically, so what is it then? Like you tell me, and like my brother's that person who won't let it go. He'll like challenge a comment. And I was like, I don't fucking know. I was like, I'm just saying. Yeah. I found it kind of weird. Like it was this massive debate. So yeah, the whole herd
mentality.
Herd mentality thing would be honestly because there was like so many of us were like torn in that conversation because I had one friend who actually there was a guy who did believe in it. And he was like, yeah, I think something is with that. And my brother was like, thought better of you. I didn't think you believe in it. Like just massive. It was very funny, but it was like, we're gonna have a big argument about bloody tarot cards. It's insane.
Do you think he does that to like rock the boat a little bit though, or is he like he's not like a proper non-believer, or there's like an element of him that might believe in it, but he's like, actually, I'm just gonna prod this a little bit. I want to see how far they go.
He sees things very black and white, my brother, and he's very well read. Like he'll read about everything and anything. Then obviously he'll have his own, as you do. You have your own opinion of it. Especially things like religion and stuff and whatever. Like he will read everything and anything. And some of the books that he gets caught reading on the train and stuff are very like questionable because they're like really deep. And I mean literally about everything and anything, about politics, about religion, about like very controversial topics. Like he's reading it, and I love that he's like that because he's very curious and he wants to ask stuff. But his problem is, well, I said to him, you're a bit arrogant with it, right? Because like everyone's got their own opinions at the end of the day, and you have to see where someone's perspective, like, you know, see the two sides of the argument. But he will question you to the point of like pure anger because it's like, I feel like I said to him, you don't actively listen. I was like, you just you're trying to catch people out when you're asking stuff. I've said even Lena was like, bring him on the podcast, and I was like, I would love to. I was like, but honestly, the things he's gonna he's just gonna question everything we say to. But it'd be very interesting to hear his point of view on stuff, honestly. But he's great. The one thing I do love about him, he's great to have conversations with and like debates with, because it's just like he's very funny. And I'm not just saying because he's my brother, he is very funny and he's very quick and stuff, but he's too smart for his own fucking good, and I think that's the problem.
He does sound like a good laugh to have, like someone that we need to have at some point, maybe for like the 2-year anniversary or something.
But we have to bring Lena on as well, because Lena and I just absolutely rinse the shit out of him when we do it as well. So he needs to get taken down a peg or two by all three of us.
Let's do it. I'm keen. I'm down. If he's listening, does he listen?
No, this is the other thing. He's got so many opinions on our podcast, right? He's got so many opinions about our podcast. And Lena said to him, have you actually listened to any of Alexa's podcasts with Lena? And he was like, no. And she's like, then you've got no fucking say in it, like whatsoever. He's like, you know, you should really be doing this and you should be doing this. And I was like, have you listened to any of it? Nah. No, don't know what to tell you.
Shut up then.
Mansplaining about our podcast, honestly.
Love that.
Terrible. But so I'm gonna actually you'll have to send me the rules of the whole herd mentality thing and stuff. I might actually play it with them for a laugh. I will tell you I'll let you know how badly we all fell out.
Oh, that'd be good. Well, invite me around for games night, or you can come around here.
But definitely. Did it when you were playing the game, did it make you see your friends in a different light? Like, did you judge them ever so slightly on certain answers?
Not gonna lie, we were probably a bit drunk when we were playing it.
Okay, fair enough.
We were like 6 Negronis.
What crosswords said.
No, it's the thing is we had. Do you know? Actually, there's only 4 of us that were playing it, and it was really funny. There was one question which came up, which was like, who is the most likely in the group to go to heaven? And then I thought it'd be, mixed, but we all like, okay, I think we all know the answer, so we counted down like 3, 2, 1, oh, Gemma, and like everyone thought, and I was like, oh, well, like, why don't people think, I'm gonna, to be fair, I said Gemma, what's wrong with me? So it's like 2 guys and 2 girls, like, okay, the guys aren't gonna go to heaven, but it was like, she even said, herself. So it was like
she picked herself.
Yeah. She knows too much. No, she knows too much shit. This is it. She knows too much.
She's like, I definitely deserve to be.
Yeah, exactly. I know too much about every single one of you to know that I'm the one that's going to heaven, basically.
Oh my god, we so need to play that game. With
it's really good.
Honestly,
it's really
I feel like that needs to happen.
We should
totally do it. Maybe we invite all the guests that we've had on previous.
Yeah, right. Herdman is a good one. It is a good like debate. It is, it does strike debate. But then it's like, how do you play it? Do you play it like, do you play it answering the question as what you think, or are you trying to kind of like suss everyone out, going, actually, what are they going to put? Because that's the game. You need to work out, actually, I think 3 of them are going to say this, so I'm going to go with that. And it turned out that Dave was basically, so when you're the odd one out, you get this pink pig, and you can't win the game until you get rid of the pink pig. So he was always the odd one out. So I was like, and then there was a point where I was like, actually, if I put this, I think I'm gonna be the odd one out, and I could do it and get the pig from him, but actually he can keep it. I think they're gonna put this. So my answer was actually different to what I would have said personally. I was like, I think Gemma and her husband are going to say something else, so I'm going to go with what they're saying. But Dave will definitely say something different. And I would probably agree with Dave, but I don't want to have the pig. So it's good.
I feel like there is a good game. We should do something, not exactly like that about the pink piggers bit and all that bit, but we should do like someone asks you and I questions, and just to see like what, like we can just like hold it up or something and just see. It's what
like that's cool. Another game we played and used was the Mr. and Mrs.
Okay, yeah, we should do something like that.
Yeah, so we did Mr. and Mrs. with the couples, but then we also did Mr. and Mrs. with friends, and with other we like mixed partners as well. So it was like, what has their partner told me about them that I,
right.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it was good. Cute. I was thinking that as well. We should do either like a Mr. and Mrs. with Ricky and Dave, and do like these are their answers. What do you think they said? Or we should do one as well, like hold it up.
I like both. I think we should do a part 1 and a part 2 on that. Definitely. I love that idea. That's so much fun. Well, that's our content sorted out.
There
for
you
next.
Go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love it. Sounds good. Looks like we've got some lots of games to be playing and stuff. But like, so it's interesting that like you guys there wasn't like a clash essentially, but slight judgment.
Big judgment, yeah.
Big judgment,
yeah. No clashes. It was like, I do have to stick with the crowd here. So,
have you ever fallen out with someone over like an opinion or something? Like I don't think I have, but like this, I've definitely had like some friends, or they'll have an opinion, and I'm like, rah, like it's made me see them in a whole different light. But have you like ever fallen out with someone because of an opinion?
I'm trying to think. Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes, I have actually. And I think I have mentioned her on this podcast before. So it was a friend from uni, and we were really, really close friends, and we do everything together. Like we just never left each other's side. It's one of those ones where we go for drinks together, we go for dinner, we go to uni, we all of that sort of stuff. So we're just together every day. And she told me that she was, oh no, that was it. Her boss, where she worked at the time, was like buying her. He was married.
Got it.
But he was like buying her these little gifts.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was, I can't remember now. It was so long ago. I think there was something going on at that point with them. And I called her out on it. I said, I don't think this is right. He's literally buying you. Like, it was really, looking back at it now, we're obviously really young. And the way I said it was like, you're basically like a prostitute. Like he's He's buying you things in exchange for sex, basically. And she like flipped out on me, and she was like, no, you're wrong, that's not how it is, and blah blah. I'm like, he's married, and what he's doing isn't, you know, he shouldn't be doing that. And she just totally refused to kind of to see that point. And yeah, so to this day, like, we haven't spoken since we had that conversation.
Right, so like literally that was a fallout altogether.
That was it. It was like, it was out.
And you don't know what happened after that with them, or?
Nope. She hit back at me, and she hit back at me and said, well, I have said this before. So she hit back at me and she said, oh, basically, well, I think you're wrong, and I think I think it's your fault that you've ended up in these abusive relationships. So I was like, oh, okay. So I'm gonna put the phone down. And I'm I'm just gonna I'm gonna put the phone down now. I'm just gonna leave you to it, love. So best of luck. And that was it.
And she's never tried to reach out since. You've never tried to reach out. Like, has anyone tried to make amends there?
Blocked her and everything. Blocked. Yeah.
I don't blame you, to be fair. I don't blame you, to be fair, because you were trying to see your friend right. Look, you know what? Some people just. It's so difficult, right? Because some people don't like when I say this in the nicest way possible. I've got friends, but I know if I was to challenge them as a friend, they wouldn't like it. Yeah. And I know some people just at that time sometimes you want just the reassurance of like, I know you're making a mistake, but I'm here for you, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes, like, if you were to say, listen, I don't think what you're doing is the right thing. Like, I love you enough to tell you that. And they don't take it. It's a really difficult thing, but to then twist it and then put it back on you when it's nothing to do with what you were talking about, I think it's a very shitty thing to do. Like, that deflection thing is, I'm not down for that.
That's it. And it was I don't know, I think it was a time in my life anyway where I was like doing a massive cull of people, so I was like, oh, okay, you're done. You're doing a Robin. See you later. yeah, basically it was like, it was one of those points where I was like, do you know what? I'm at this stage in my life now where actually I have come out of a bad relationship, and like, I'm not going to think two ways about people who want to try and bring me down or make me feel bad, or like, no, I'm not having it. Like that, and exactly what you were saying. Like, all I was doing was trying to help. Like, she's here telling me the situation. I'm like, okay, well, there's part of me that didn't sit right with it at all. And I was like, you know, anyway. So yeah, in answer to your question, yes.
No, I'm just actually trying to think. I think actually there's been one or two situations where I have been like, yeah, I'm not, that opinion is just a bit too much for me. And like, it's really difficult, right? Because you want people to be able to have their own opinions and thoughts and whatever. I feel like there's a way of dealing with them though. And I think when you're putting it online and you're blasting people that you're judging and stuff, then I think you've got every right to then have someone like come back at you on it and stuff and whatever. I don't know about you. I don't know if you've got the same thing. I have realized with certain older generations of family that their views on stuff obviously is from their time. They might not be very up to date on certain things and how they think and speak. And some of it I understand where it stems from. Like, I'm not saying it's correct, but I understand where it comes from. And I think there's sometimes you can educate and correct and say, actually, you know, that's not correct, or, you know, you're tarnishing people the same way, etc. And then I think there's sometimes where you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna back out of this conversation because no matter what I say, you know, and they're gonna say, well, I'm entitled to my own opinion, you know, like, there's that too. Like, what about you? Do you have like the same situations and stuff?
On a daily with my mum. Yeah, on a daily with my mum. And there's a pure example today. My mum comes round to the house to take care of the kids, and she helps tidy up, and she helps with like laundry and stuff like that. I love my mum for it. Like, she kind of helps with the household stuff, and she has done ever since, like, I had my kids and stuff, you know, just to kind of, because she knows how hard it is. And she was obviously hanging the washing, and Dave's a gardener, so a lot of his shirts are like ripped from where it's like caught on bushes or thorns or stuff like that. And so she said to me today, she was like, oh, you need to buy Dave some new shirts. I'm just like, he's an adult. He can buy his own shirt. She's like, no, I was going to do the accent, but I'm not going to do it. She was like, no. I remembered where I was. I was having we're on a podcast, we're having a normal conversation. We are having a normal conversation, but it's been recorded. And I was like, no, Mum, it's 2025. It is 2025. She goes, but it's the job of a woman to take care of her man. And I'm like, okay. And it's one of those where it's like, I'm older now, and like you say, I find like the older generation do have have different views, and it's like, I'm not gonna I've said my piece. I said, no, I don't. It's 2025. What are you talking about? He is an adult. Yeah. He can buy his own shirts. If he thinks his shirts are too ripped to take to work, then that fine. Like, whatever. Said my piece. She goes, no, it's the job of a woman to take care of her man. I'm like, okay, Mum. I'll see you later. I'll call you later. And I'm not going to sit here and have this conversation with her and have that battle with her. And, he works hard. And, of course, don't doubt that he works hard. So when he comes home, you've got to make sure... It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Listen, I get it. I get it. Like, it's so... My grandma would say the same, right? Like, say, if everyone came to the house and then Ricky would start tidying up stuff... Yeah. My grandma would be like, why is Ricky doing it? Why aren't you doing it? And I'm like, because it's his house too. I was like, we both live here. Oh no, you should be doing it. She'd literally be like, you should be doing it. And I was like,
I'll do the accent.
Oh no. Alexia, you should be tidying it up. Like, literally, she'd be having such a go at me. And I'd be like, like, we both pay the bills. We both live here. Like, he can do it, and he does it fucking better than me anyway. Yeah. To be honest. But like, the thing is as well, she wouldn't see all like the lead up to it, like it'd be like me getting the food or like me setting things up and stuff, and I'd be like, oh, Rick, give me a hand, and then he'd obviously get up and do stuff, and then she'd be like, why are you getting him to do stuff? And I'm like, because he lives, I'm not doing it all, like we both live here. And then my mum is kind of, it's really weird because then my auntie, okay, so my aunties are very hostessy. When people come around, they really are like the mums of the house. They're very old school, and I love that because that's a dying trade for sure. You're
going to be looked after. I'm sorry if you come round to my house, like, water's in the fridge.
No, honestly, they were literally like, what do you want? Do you want tea, coffee? Do you want some nuts? Got some crisps? Like, they are literally like, what do you want to eat? Help yourself to the fridge. Like, because we all used to live together as well, so that's always been a thing. But I've known my mum is and my mum used to she's bad. My mum used to host, but she'd get my aunties to do everything, and my mum would be like the entertainer, so she would be like talking and, Lou, Nick, go and get go and get the cake out the fridge. Like, that's what my mum just dictates everything. And then, but then my mum sees stuff in she agrees with like the tidying both of you, like blah blah, it's both your home and whatever. But she also sees it as in all the mental side and the admin side, that like the women essentially should do it. Like, it's like, I'm like that, my sister-in-law's like that, she's like that thing of like, we run the house, the guy just asks what needs to be done, right? And I don't really agree with that. Like, if you've got kind of split roles and stuff in the home, then I get it. But I feel like sometimes the mental stuff is just as heavy as the physical stuff, right? The decision fatigue of like deciding things like what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, what we're going to eat, do the house, who's sorting out the bills, like blah blah. Like those things I think are knackering, because I feel like if you forget something that's very important, like a bill to pay or like a event thing you have an RSVP to or whatever, like it's on you. There's no one sort of doing that with you. So my mum thinks that, she's like, you should be the one running the gaff. And I'm like, it shouldn't be. I was like, because if one of us cops it tomorrow, like if I was to cop it tomorrow, Rick wouldn't have any idea where anything is or what anything goes. Like, without being, and that's on me as well, because I haven't given him that job obviously too. But I feel like, I can't remember if you said if it's roles reversed with you guys, if Dave deals a lot more with that than you do. I can't remember, but how does it work with you guys?
I think it's, so like, take cooking for example. I think it is fair. I want to say it's fairly 50-50. He'll probably disagree.
They always disagree.
Yeah.
That's probably right.
But when I remember when I had both the kids and I couldn't move, so they were both like cesarean sections, so I was like basically out of action for quite a while. He took on like a lot of the cooking. And so I would say he did probably like 96% of the cooking. I'd put some bread in the toaster or whatever. And then he kind of carried that on even when I was like, oh yeah, I'm okay now. Oh no.
I Oh, mate, we were like, milk it when you can. Fuck it.
Yeah. But they cut me open to have two babies. But that was 2 years ago. I was like, oh, it still
really hurts.
It still really hurts. Yeah. So he does, but I think I did sort of go back, and we are doing more. Like, I think that is more even now. So yeah, from a cooking point of view, that's even. Like, I think it is just split. It's like when shit needs to be done, like shit needs to be done, you know? I'd say I do, to be fair, like, because I do, like, he's out, so he's not, like, at a desk or whatever, I will do, like, the grocery shopping, or I'll do the online.
More available in that respect, yeah.
Exactly, and I'll curate the menu, and I will ask him, do you know, this is what we're having this week, but I will ask, like, I'll say, what do you want? Is there anything you fancy? Is there anything you don't want? Is there anything you do want? And you usually say, he's not very fussy, be like, oh, whatever, or like, no, I can't, I've had too many sausages at Christmas, so like I literally don't want any more sausages, and you know, stuff like that. So he'll say, or he'll point it out. So he kind of helps in that respect as well. And then yeah, I think from a driving point of view, though, he does more of the driving. I don't know. What about you two? Like, if you're going on a long journey, do you share it, or does he?
He's done it a lot more, I think, because I think it's just easier if he does it, if I'm honest. And it's not, I can't do anything like that. I'm totally happy to do it. But I think I would rather avoid the road rage with Rick and I together if he just does it rather than me, and then him and I arguing about how I drive. Like, I'd still moan about how he drives, but like it's
better.
He gets us there quicker. It's better. So I let him get on with it. Also with the agreement that we play my music in the car at that time most of the time. No, like we do sometimes like play something that we'll both like, and then the other day he was like, well, you always play your music more, because I obviously have control of Spotify when he's driving, and I was like, you know, there's nothing to say we can't actually do a playlist together that we just share our own, like share all the music in together, as long as it came with rules, like as long as it's not this and this, we're good. Like,
so it's literally just all your music,
literally all my music, and like 1 or 2 songs of his I might quite like. But no, the driving side of things is definitely more him. It's just easier. Like the one thing I can't stand that Rick does, I don't know if you have the same thing, is like, if I, like, say for example, you come up to a junction, right? Rick will be like, yeah, you can go. And I'm like, no, I need to see that I can go. Don't tell me to go, because like
my dad does that.
I hate that so much.
Go on. Yeah, go on. I can't, but I can't see. You might be able to see something different. Yeah.
Legit, exactly. And also our speed reactions to stuff is so different. Like, you can't go by someone else's gauge on it. If you think it's good, then go. Like, if you don't, like, don't. But but I can, like, I've always said I can do the long drives, but it's just I've offered, but Rick's always like, I'll do it. And I think because of his autism as well, and like the routine thing, and obviously like sometimes he's got a thing about the direction stuff, like he wants to really know where he's going, and he kind of gets freaked out if he doesn't know where he's going. So there's also that. So I let him almost like plan the trip, because it gives him peace of mind, and then he's more comfortable with it. Whereas if we start driving and then I get lost, and he's like not prepared for it, then it's like, oh shit. So I avoid all dramas at that cost. I'd rather just let him. So
know your audience. This is it. Like, you know what you're doing, and pick your battles, basically. Like, and that's it. Like, what is going to give you both less stress? Like, what is the point in trying to prove a point that you can do something or want to do something, when actually it's more stressful than saying, oh no, it's not. I know it's going to sound like really people pleasery, but it's not, is it? It's just like, actually, for the sake of our mental, for our sanity and for our mental health, like, let's just kind of do it this way.
Absolutely, pick and choose your battles. You don't need to be right about everything all the time. What about Dave's mum? Like, because I know with Rick's mum, like, she'll be like, oi, missus, you want to get onto the council about your blah, because she knows I'm the one who does all the letters. So she'll be like, oh, you want to get onto the council about that pipe above, like, blah, blah, and she'll talk to him. And I'm like, and I'm always like, yeah, cool. But then I'm like, but why can't Ricky do that letter? I'm like, fine, but how about tell him to do it, because she knows he's going to be doing it in the end anyways. Like, but it just always makes you laugh, because she'll be like, she's worked out like how our roles are in the home. So she says stuff, and I'm like,
like, yes, Mum. You've just got to bite your tongue, really, with those things.
For sure.
What did she say? Oh no, that was it. It was it was when he had his accident obviously a month ago.
Mm.
So for those that don't know, like basically Dave had a accident with a hedge trimmer and so he cut his hand quite bad, blah 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 blah. But he's self-employed, so if you don't work, then you don't get paid. Basically, you don't get
Mm.
paid, you can't pay the bills. And then apparently, apparently his mum said to
Shh. God.
apparently his mum said to him, "Oh, Lynn, well, Lynn makes a lot of money, so why don't you just take the time off and then she can." And I was
Cover.
like, no, I don't.
Excuse me.
Yeah, excuse me. I don't make loads of money. No, we're split like that way. Do you see what I mean? Like we
Sure.
split the bills and all that sort of stuff. And
Same,
and
yeah.
B, even if I did, like, what what's the yeah, if he wants to work and like earn his money, then he's gonna go. Obviously I'm not gonna be like, oh
For
yeah, oh your thumb's
sure.
falling off, like, yeah, go and get fucking out there to work,
Get the
like,
dinner on.
get the dinner on. Yeah, like, I'm a bit more, I'm reasonable in that respect. But that made me laugh a few months ago. But something that she does, and I had the backing of his sisters, or I think his younger sister, with this when I had the kids, or when I had to go back to work to maternity leave. And the kid, you only get like 1 year, so the kids are only like 1 or 2, and so they were going
Mm.
into like a childminder or a nursery. She'd be like, how could you leave them? How could you leave them with
Oh
a
my
complete
God.
stranger? How could you? But she's a
How dare you
stay-at-home
put your
mum.
career first? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she was a stay-at-home mum to 5 kids, and I get that, and I would love
I
to.
get
Don't
it.
get me wrong, like, that would be the dream, but like, yeah, it'd be ideal if I didn't have to
Yeah.
work and I could be there and I could be present and all of that sort of stuff. But his sister was like, mm, we have to work, mum. We have to,
Yeah,
we're not.
if you can afford to
Yeah,
like stay at home and do it, then fine. I mean, to be
yeah,
fair, even with the childcare thing, sometimes it's like you might as well just stay home and not have that salary coming in because it's going to childcare anyway. You
yeah,
can't bloody
yeah,
win. But
yeah,
yeah, it's really difficult. I mean, to be fair, like with my grandma, like I can't even say oh she was a housewife because my grandma was going to work, coming home making full ass dinners. Like she was running, and my grandma was running the gaff. Like seriously, she
yeah.
was I think just brought up that way. She was very strong headed. My grandma, we used to say um she was like a what do you call it? Oh my God, what's the word? It's got out of my head.
Matriarch.
Yeah, she was definitely the matriarch, but like Swiss I said she was like a Swiss Army knife, my
Ah,
grandma. Like
yeah,
she literally did everything and anything. Like she knew how to like she could cut hair. She was like our dentist. She'd pull our teeth
yeah.
out. She was a
Oh,
dressmaker. She would do all the tailoring. She was the doctor. Like she literally played every role. And I think like I said, she was out working. She'd come home and it weren't just like a shit thing. I'll just chuck some food on. It was like proper Greek homemade dinners like every
yeah,
single night. So that is how she sees it. And my granddad obviously worked as well. Like he was a mechanic, she was a dressmaker, and like they worked hard. Like that's all they did. They were so busy working that my mum, bless her, at like really young age was like bringing up my aunties. So my mum has
mm,
also played. I think, and that's where it's that behavior has carried on
yeah,
throughout. And it stops at me because
yeah,
I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm also working. Or I don't have
yeah,
kids, but I'm also working,
yeah.
and I'm doing all the mental admin stuff and whatever, and everything else. So it's like for me, it's like I've seen my family go through it, and I'm like, yeah,
Not for me.
it's changing. That thing's
Yeah,
changing. But yeah, at least like my grandma wasn't like a housewife where she was like, I'm home all day and I do it. You should be doing, but she's very much like
yeah,
we sort everything out
yeah, yeah,
because we have to.
yeah,
Um, fair play. Like she did a lot, bless her. But like, my God, like,
yeah,
that's not to say my granddad didn't. My granddad worked hard. He was a hard worker, but obviously when he came home, ate, and then that was kind of it. His day was done.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like, yeah,
Job's a good one. He's like, yeah, food's
for
gonna be hot
sure.
meals gonna be on the table and that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
And
yeah.
nah,
Nah,
just
it all changed. It's all changed.
yeah, it is all changed. And it is nice to think that, and it is, and don't get me wrong, like there will be times I'll be like, oh, I'll try and get a snack ready for him when he gets back, or do you know what I mean? Or he's going to be
Yeah, yeah,
starving, or just, here you go, here's something just to kind of tide you over before dinner or whatever. But like to have that, there shouldn't be like an expectation or like oh, you must have it ready on the table or to kick
yeah.
off if you haven't got like a snack ready or something like that. Like,
I
No.
don't think it should be all one-sided. I feel like,
Mm.
and I know that some people are better. Like I know, for example, hence why I do it, is I am better. I, like you said, I'm the same. I sit at a laptop. I
Yeah.
can write a letter out quicker.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can search something quicker. Like that's
Yeah.
fine. And it's like because I have admin skills, I know how to do these things. Like Ricky's not someone who
Yeah.
really uses a computer a lot, so like those things make sense. But like a lot of the stuff where it's like I could also teach him that, like that. There's nothing stopping me
Yeah.
from saying you can do this. This is how you do it and stuff. Also, um, but I think it's just the way, I think it's what you're used to is where you're brought up. Like one of my aunties, so we had like a bit of a kickoff at Christmas, right? So for those who don't know, like my family decided to go away for Christmas and we've never done it before. We've always been at home. And since my grandparents died, it's just not been the same. So we decided let's all go away because my in-laws were also not going on holiday. And all the family went early, apart from me and Rick and my two aunties, because one of my aunties was working. Anyway, she's meant to drive to us. The idea that she'd get to us, give her a suitcase, we jog on and go. And it's about an hour and a half drive where we need to get to, and we're already quite late. She like calls us, and she's like, "Oh, I'm stuck in traffic." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, where are you?" And she's like, tells me where she is. And I'm like, "Okay, so do you want to just get your sat nav out?" I don't know how to use a sat nav. Okay, do you want to Google Maps? I don't know how to use Google Maps. And then I'm like, okay, but
How does she get places?
exactly. It's like, I mean, she knows London really well, but like obviously
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
area, because we're not in London, she's not quite used to the routes and stuff, which was fine. But she couldn't go down her usual road because there was like an accident or something. And then I was a bit like, okay, so what do you want me to do exactly? Because you're stuck. So what do you want me to do? And she was like, oh, I don't know. You need to direct me. But then at the same time, I was like panicking about how to direct her because I do know the ways, but it's hard to explain it.
Yeah.
And then I was looking to like my auntie and Ricky, the other auntie and Ricky, and they're looking at me like, what do you want me to do? And I was like, and you know when you like just all that shit's on you, and I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what? We're gonna
Yeah.
come and find you. Just come and follow our car. But I was fuming because I was a bit like, how do you not like? And I know I shouldn't have been
Yeah.
bad, but I was like, how do you not know how to like? Why have we not showed you? Why do you not know? Like, why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I've just, we've all found our own way of using it. Like, how have you not used it? And I
Yeah.
would have let it go. I was like, really, like, right, you need to learn how to use that now. If this is an
Yeah.
emergency now, like, this is ridiculous. Like, blah
You need
blah
to be
blah.
able to work your way out of like a diversion or something.
Yeah. But my auntie's very someone like she's so used to us lot just organizing stuff for her. And that's our
Yeah.
fault as well. Like I'm not putting it all on her. She's just so used to it. So therefore
Yeah.
she's just always thought, well, someone will sort me out. And I said, like, if we were all to cop it tomorrow, like you're not
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
survive. Like you need to be able to learn how to do these things. So
Yeah.
I
This is
think it's
it.
also how you're brought up, how you manage things through life and stuff. I think it's on us as well as like that person. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was like shocked that she didn't know how to use it because I was like,
This is
my
it.
God, like, yeah.
It goes back to like what we're saying about the motorway though, isn't it? And like, no,
Mm.
if something, God forbid, anything does happen, or she's on her own, or there's no one then around to kind of help her, like navigate or sort things out for her, but she finds herself in a position where actually I'm gonna have to sort shit out now, then but you don't want it to really get to that point where it's
No.
like, yeah, the thought of and that's it. It's like the thought of like not being around and her not knowing. You'd rather just kind of equip her with like what she needs to know, like
Yeah.
beforehand. And I think in a really morbid way, that's kind of like what my parents are trying to do as well. They're getting older and they're like, okay, so if anything happens, you need to contact this person, and this
Yeah,
is where the
yeah.
will is, and
Got
blah
that
blah
as
blah. And I'm
well.
like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
No,
Oh,
you have to. You
you
totally
have
have to.
to,
Like,
but yeah,
I need reminders of it. My mum tells me, I'm like, you need to remind me again at some point because I'm going to forget all
yeah,
this information.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
heaven forbid, my brother's not going to do it. It'll be me. Like, already
yeah,
that's been delegated to me. I know it's my
yeah,
job to sort them out when they both cop it.
yeah,
But it's like, it's that thing of like, I think it's important. I've even said to my aunties, like, because my mum, I don't know if your parents done this, but my mum's done a thing where it's like, if her and my stepdad like pass tomorrow, and actually my in-laws have done it, hence they were the ones who inspired my mum to do it. If they're to pass tomorrow,
yeah,
everything is essentially organized, and it's just a case
yeah.
of you turn up here, this is they're
Yeah,
getting cremated, like blah blah. And
yeah,
my mum was like, I because she was the one who bless her did both my grandparents like funerals, organized everything, and she said, I just don't want to put that on you. She was like, I
yeah,
don't want you guys to be doing, and I'm like, good, that's a really good thing. I appreciate
yeah,
that. Like, and even I've said to Martin, it's like you guys need to do it as well because they don't have any children and stuff. It'd be my brother and I again
yeah,
doing it, and I'm like, you guys need to sort yourself out because not that I don't want it, but I'm just like, it would be good if we did, we did these things
Yeah.
early. I think even Rick and I should do it. It's just an important thing to get done. I
Yeah.
think you should sort out your own death. Like it's
Yeah.
at least I know my shit will happen if I get it sorted. You know what I
This
mean?
is
But
it.
yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with parents doing that. I think it's a good lesson to learn,
Yeah.
because even with my auntie, I said to her, if we couldn't have come and got you that day,
Mm.
what were you going to do? And she was like, I'd have just gone home. And I was like, but we've booked to go away somewhere for, like, you can't just go home. Like, that's not,
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
that's not a good thing to,
Yeah. Yeah.
like to do. But it's just, again, I actually, I love my mum to death, but I blame my mum a lot for that, because
Yeah. Yeah.
she's allowed that a lot. And it's become a thing in our household where it's like, it'll be my mum, myself, or my sister-in-law. We're the ones who organize everything, basically.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure, because there's so many people to keep happy in our family, and
Yeah.
everyone's very fussy in my family as well. So it's not like an easy job. You book something and you panic because someone's going to moan about it somewhere or
Yeah.
another. And I've now got to the point where I'm like, you're not allowed to have a say in it unless did you put in on this? No, then you can't say a
Yeah.
fucking thing about it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
literally, I've got to
Yeah.
that point.
Just put up
Like,
and
'cause
shut up unless you're gonna help sort it out.
legit,
Yeah.
legit. When we went to Cyprus for my mate's wedding, and like my parents were invited, my stepdad and my mum, obviously. And my stepdad started moaning about stuff, and I was like, with all due respect, you did fuck all to organise this, so therefore
Yeah.
you have no say in it whatsoever.
Yeah.
So you just shut up, smile, have a drink, and enjoy
Yeah.
yourself. And he was like, all right, fine. I was like,
Yeah.
got to
Absolutely.
be kind.
This is it. Like if you go, and surely like people should recognize that as well. It's like, why should you shouldn't really have like any right to like moan or complain about anything. Like if you had an opinion, then you should have raised it earlier
Done something about it. No
about
one's
it.
stopping you from organising something. It's like,
Exactly.
it's just, I think I get that with friends and stuff as well. Like I've got friends of ours in like our Amdram group, and they're amazing. Like they organize everything, bless them. They just love doing it. And even when other people have done it, they don't really like that. They want to do it, but they'll happily pass it, but they'll do it.
Yeah.
And then you'll get someone say, "Oh, I think we should do this next year." And it's like, "Are you organizing it?" No,
Yeah,
well
yeah,
then
yeah.
shut the fuck up. Like you can't,
Yeah.
you can't say it. Damn, if you've got an idea
Exactly.
and you're actually going to execute it, fine. But otherwise, shut up and just let them get on
Yeah.
with it. Yeah,
100%. It's like so we went away to Devon for New Year's, and so there were like four families, and we were the last to arrive. And like by no means did I think like arriving 3 hours later than anyone else, I would have like a choice in what room we would have. It's like I got
sure.
there and they were like, "Oh, we've chosen rooms, like that's gonna be yours." Is that okay? I'm like, absolutely, like we're the last ones here.
You're late.
I don't
Yeah,
actually
sure.
know. Oh, hold on, let me no, actually, I prefer that one. I prefer the
Yeah,
bigger
yeah.
one. Is that all right? I didn't really have anything to do with the booking or anything like that. Like it is what it is. Like we'll get there late. We'd already decided. It was like, oh, we're not going to get a good choice of rooms or whatever. Do you
Yeah,
know?
that's the
But
risk you take.
this is it. It don't matter. It was a nice room anyway. And like everyone was like, are you sure you're all right with it? Because you were kind of like left with it. I'm like, honestly, I'm not.
But that's nice that they cared enough to check. Like,
Yeah,
like that's a good
yeah,
thing. That is literally like my wedding. I remember, because you just literally just triggered an old memory, and I'm like, hang on a second. My wedding, we had a hotel that we were staying in the night before, and we were because it was a small hotel, we were like the only family, all our family basically booked out every single room. And I had to get the go ahead from my family, like my aunties, for example. Right, my gran was with us, well, so I get it, but like I literally had to like you got like 3D maps when you can see inside the rooms and stuff, right? So we had that,
yeah.
and I had to see if they were happy with the rooms that like even though I
No.
organized all of it,
Oh
I
my
had to check
gosh.
they were happy with the rooms, and like show them around it and be like, what do you think, are you all right with this, like blah blah. And you're like, honestly, like what the hell? And I remember when it was my wedding, because my aunties, I love them to death, I do, but they're very critical, right? And I said to them, my wedding, and they're like, yeah. And I was like, I don't want to hear a fucking thing if you didn't like it. I don't want to hear
You
any,
said,
yeah, I said, I don't care if you had a comment about something you didn't like, or you thought something was running a bit too slow, or like,
yeah,
blah. I was like, I don't want to hear it. I was
yeah,
like, you keep that shit to yourself,
yeah,
because this is taking like over a year to plan. I've done it all by myself, and I don't want any opinions on it. And they were like, all right, all right. Because I know what they're like. I just know what they're like.
yeah,
They'll be like, oh, well, that was nice, but like blah blah. And they were like, no, actually, it was a really good day. And I was like, yeah, damn right it was. But I was
yeah.
like, not allowed to have a say in it, as far as I'm concerned. You didn't put
Honestly,
in on this, you can't say shit on it. So
what the
yeah,
hell?
I've learned over the years that I was very people pleasy over the years of trying to make sure everybody was happy at my expense. And I'm now at a
Yeah.
point where I'm like, I don't care. Like, this isn't
Yeah.
your thing. It's our thing. It's our day, my day, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, your opinions mean fuck all in that respect. So,
Absolutely.
in the politest way possible, obviously, is saying that.
Yeah. And it's and this is the thing, like like more often than not when you're trying to arrange things with like any group families or
Mm,
whatever, like it is hard because people will have different opinions. Not You're not all going to have the same opinion. You're not all going to go, that's great, yeah, just go for it, just book it, whatever. You're going to have a mix of people, right, who are going to want to say stuff. And so we've been trying like for ages to try and get away to like to do drive down to France and stuff like that. And I'll like send Dave some links to places and go, what do you think of this? Do you think so and so will like it? It goes, what you need to do, Lynn, is go, we're going
do you
away
like it?
on these dates. Yeah. Do you
Hmm.
like it? Book it if you like it. Say to your friends, we're going away on these dates. This is what we've booked. If you would like to join, please join us.
It's a better way.
And that's
I
it.
think I think as women, I feel like we so worried about what everyone else thinks or the fear of being
Yeah.
judged about something. Whereas guys just like, do you want to come to this? Cool. Yes, no, fine.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. They're not bothered. They're like, oh, yeah, we're going axe throwing. Yeah, sweet. I'll be there. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Whereas we'll be like, oh my God, if to Sally like axe throwing, I don't know. Or didn't she have an ex that works there or something like that? Or oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Or all that sort of stuff. It's like, oh, I don't know if she'll really
Did
like
it
it. It might be a bit
trigger
too
a
much.
bad memory of somebody? Yeah, it's just too much.
Exactly.
It's too
Yeah. You
much.
just don't need that. Like you're either there or you're not. And it's like one of these I don't know if this is like related to it. I don't know why I thought of this in my head though, but it's like when I
Mm.
invite someone or if I'm inviting someone to like a party or to an event or to something where there be other people, when people ask me, it really irks me when people go, well, who else is going to be there? I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
but
Like
I'm
that's gonna
asking
set the
you.
party.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm asking you to come. So why does it matter? Like I'm hosting something which I would like you to attend. Why does it like unless you've had a really big falling out with
Sure.
someone and there's going to be like a massive clash, then why are you asking who else is going to be there? Like, what's the deal?
Even so though, like I've been to events where I've had a falling out with somebody, or should I say they've fallen out with me. And as far as I'm concerned, that situation has got fuck all to do with the event that we're going to.
Yeah,
Like that's it. That is
yeah,
literally it. Like, I've been to a wedding and literally had someone there who hated my guts. We fell out over something really small as well. And like it was just like didn't want to talk to me about whatever. I played stupid. Hi, how are you? You're right. Kill it with kindness. Like
yeah,
I'm not about that. Like, and also
yeah.
it's not my day. So I
No,
absolutely have no say in, oh, well, who's going to be there and stuff. You might say, oh,
yeah,
fucking hell, why so and so? You might say
yeah,
to like a close friend, oh, fucking hell, like Susan's going, why she going? Do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like something like that. But like, that's it. That's totally it. You just still get on with it. And yeah, we need to
yeah,
stop. That shit needs to stop. Where it's like, it's not
yeah.
about, this isn't about you. And no one gives a shit about your situation at this moment in
This is it.
It's like, yeah.
This is it.
There's a lot of things where I think as I don't know whether because we're getting older. I had a friend say this to me long ago because I was like saying I've just stopped tolerating a lot of bullshit. I was like I feel like I don't know something's clicked and I was like I'm not putting up with certain situations anymore and I'm not tolerating stuff anymore and whatever. And my
Mm.
mate who's older than me, she's about 9, 10 years older than me nearly. And she was like, do you know what's funny? You're turning 40. She said, that's the exact same age I was when I started thinking like that. And she said she was like me, kind of like was always someone who wanted to like make people happy and like blah, blah.
Yeah,
And then she said, and something hit and she was like, nah, this ain't, I'm not doing this anymore. If it's
yeah,
not good for me, I'm fucking leaving the situation. And she was like, she's like, you will lose friends and stuff because of it, but it's because you're setting boundaries and stuff. And I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, it's true. Like,
It's tiring. Like, no, fuck that. I'm not. I can't. I'm no more energy for it. Just it's.
legit, like,
Yeah.
if you don't bring any good energy into my life, like or I find a situation draining,
Mm.
I'm we
Wow.
haven't fallen out. You're just not gonna be I'm not
Yeah.
entertaining it anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
as simple as.
Yeah.
And it's hard. Like I think when you have a change of mindset like that, you do start realizing like who knows to push those buttons or not and like how does that go and stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's not really it. But and I just wonder like I wonder if like our age group it's everyone's starting to like, it's more people starting to come like that? Is it like a thing since COVID? Like, is it a girl thing? I don't know. Like, will we lose more friends as we go along? Like, you know, I've lost that eagerness to keep. Do you know what it is? I've lost the eagerness to really please people and make new friends without sounding
Yeah.
like a terrible. Like, I
Yeah.
like networking and meeting new people and stuff. And there's definitely, like, last year I made shitloads of new friends, which I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
But I'm not consciously doing it. Does that make sense? Like,
Yes.
we're not here to make
Actively
friends.
seeking out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 It's
And
like, if we vibe, we vibe.
that's it. And what I'm bored of is like fakeness, being fake, and all of that
Mm.
sort of stuff. It's like I just can't be dealing with that. It's like I think we probably mentioned this back in Robin's episode about about WhatsApp chats and stuff. By the way, I haven't
Yes.
left, so don't worry, I'm not left any.
I
Sorry,
still haven't
Robin.
either.
Still ongoing. Yeah, still. So it's definitely on mute. Actually, it's on lock now. So there's like a
I just,
new thing where you
yeah.
can lock it and not see it, right?
Ah,
So
yeah.
yeah, right. So it's I don't even see the chat. It's if I oh shit, yeah, there's that chat. Let me see what's going on type thing. So like I barely now say anything in that group.
Mm.
There are probably oops. There are a couple of there are maybe a few.
Putting ourselves out there now. Fuck it. It's our
Yeah,
podcast. We can do what we like.
there's some people in that group who I'm just like I just don't get on board with like things that they are saying or stuff like that, or it's just, and it's one of those, and I will, but because I like the rest of the group, if there is an event or something going
Yeah,
on
yeah.
and I will be at that event, I'll be like, yeah, I'll be like, hi, bye, whatever, and I'm civil and I'm normal. But if there is anything which is like, how can I put it? I'm just done with like just trying to be fake around people. If I'm at an event where they are there, I wouldn't seek them out to like have a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
conversation. If I end up having a conversation with them, then it will be really kind of okay, nothing, because I'm polite like that. I'm not just gonna kind of walk
Yeah.
off because I don't like respect your opinions or whatever, which I don't. And if I don't, like you say, I don't vibe, I don't vibe, but that's it
Yeah.
at the end of the day. I'm not going to stick around here and be no, I can't.
It's really rare that I show my true emotions to somebody that I don't like. I'll be honest. Like,
Yeah,
a lot of the time I'll be like, hi, how are you? How you doing? I'm
yeah,
always super polite because I just think,
yeah,
like, if I haven't done anything wrong, like, I've got
yes,
nothing to, I'm not gonna like hide away from you. And there's only ever a few times where I've just been like, well, I clearly don't have time for you. Like, there's only a bit and a small, very small handful of people,
yeah,
and they're like, I'll be honest, they're like distant family where they've come over, and I'm like, I know shit you've said, and like, I'm
yeah,
not like down for it and stuff, and it's like, they're not even like close relative, and they were never even close anyways. But it's just when they've come over, like, I've just found it very hard to pretend to be nice to them because I'm like, no, I'm good, like, kind of thing. Now you have to really fuck me off to be able to do that one. Like,
yeah,
that's how you know. But I'm not I'm not someone that's gonna like be rude to you or cut you off or like, even I'm not being funny, like, even like I've been in situations with like friends' exes or like family exes and stuff, and like I've seen them or bumped into, I'm not rude to them. It's not my beef.
yeah,
Like, I'm hi,
yeah,
how are
yeah,
you? Like, blah, blah,
yeah, yeah,
like, if anything, want to keep the peace. So it's not like, oh, so and so said this, and it. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
It's not your
It's not
fight. It's
matter.
not your, yeah,
It's
exactly
absolutely
that.
not. It's absolutely not. But I am saying the WhatsApp group things. I feel like you cause, if you've not been very connected in a WhatsApp group for at least a couple of years and then you leave it, I think that's almost starting a fight. Essentially,
Exactly
you're
that.
asking, like, because that's like, why the fuck
Yeah,
did you leave? Like, no
yeah,
reason, no
yeah.
reason.
There've
So
been
I'm just the same.
times, yeah, like
Mm.
from that conversation where I'm like, oh, I could just leave it now. And like now there's this new thing on WhatsApp where only the admin sees that you've left. So not everyone will
Yes.
see that you've
Yep.
left the
Yep.
conversation unless they go in and go, oh, she hasn't said anything. Oh, she's not on this fucking chat anymore. So there's that as well. I was like, oh, I could, maybe this is my chance. But it's like, why do you want, I like leaving would just stir up more stuff. Like you're just there,
Legit.
you're a mute, like
And
if
also,
something important is in there, then yeah, you'll find out. But
I'm also not. So if I'm admin of the WhatsApp and I've seen you leave the group, I'm not chasing you as to why you've
no,
left the group. Like, we're not
yeah,
doing that anymore as well. Why did you
yeah,
leave? Come back. Nah.
oh,
I had
God,
I had one where, and it wasn't even anything bad. No one had fallen out. Someone like just randomly left.
yeah.
And no one else knew. And then I did say to them, by the way, like, so and so's left the group, just so you
Did you?
know. And they were like, what? Why? Why did they leave? And I was like,
Yeah,
it just, who cares? Like, if they don't want to be in it, fine. Like, I'm not chasing. And if it's a thing to gain attention, good luck, because you're not gonna get it. So you want to leave. No one's stopping you from being in these things. Like, you know, I feel like you cause more drama by it. And it's such a strange thing of just leaving a chat like, oh, they left the chat, like, oh, fucking hell, like, we've fallen. No, it's just like, I don't want to be part of the drama anymore.
It's
like,
not
it's
a
all
big
good.
thing. Like,
it's not, but we're still scared to do it.
And then if I do it, I'll be like, okay, well, if I do it, then and then someone says anything, maybe I can just say, oh yeah, I had to reset my phone or something, and then I'll go just let me back in then. Do you know, if it really is a big thing, like, that's the shit that's going through my head. I'm like, it shouldn't be like that. If I want to leave, I should just leave. Get Robin back on.
Literally, no, my thing, mate, and do you know what it is? It's hard. I don't know if you've got the same problem. I'm obviously very chatty. You might have guessed it by now. But if I go down on a chat, like, it's so bait, and I think that's the harder thing as well. Like, because then I've had even with like family, we're not falling out or anything. It's just like, why isn't Alexia messaging? Like, where's Alex? Like, where's Alexia? And you're like, fuck, like, you're like, no, not have to be on all the time. But you can tell when I'm not, like. You can tell, like, I think that alone of me not being kind of distant in the chat just sort of says it all. And then it's like, I don't want to be the person who's deaded the chat, but it's definitely been situations
where there's nothing more has been said.
Deaded it. Because it's like there's nothing more to be said. We're clearly not all cool, so like it is what it is. But I still won't leave the chat.
Still there.
Even my mate said, why don't you just leave one of the chat? And I was like, I can't be arsed. I was like, I just feel like it's too far gone. Like, it would just it stirs up something that doesn't need to be stirred up. It's really clear we're not cool anymore. Like, it's fine. Yeah, I do find it funny though, where you get some friends that, like, I don't know how to say this. Like, I found it funny that you've fallen out with somebody, or like something, clearly there's been a thing within the group.
Yeah.
And then someone randomly messages stuff about themselves as if you're going to be their go-tos again, like you used to be. And that one, I'm a bit like, I had a friend who had a situation. We hadn't spoken in ages. Like, we'd all kind of fallen out, and like, no harm, you know, like, it is what it is. And they messaged something had gone on with their lives. You know, I responded. I wasn't rude. You know, I'm really sorry. Like, blah blah. I made sure they were okay and whatever. But they saw that as the invite to then try to think they're friends with me again. And I'm a bit like, no, we're not there anymore. Like, we're not there anymore. Like, I don't wish you harm. Like, I really don't mean it in a malicious way. I hope you're okay. And like, if there was an absolute massive emergency, yeah, fine. But we're not friends anymore. Like, that's it. We're done.
That. You've like crossed the line.
That point.
Yeah.
Legit. Like, we haven't finished with stuff. Like, there's still stuff with us. We've not, like, unfinished, as in conversation wise. There clearly needs to be something said. So we're just not on that level. Like, again, I hope you're okay, you know, like, blah blah, like, you know, here's a piece of advice, here's something to take away. You know, I'm a complete arsehole, but you're not coming back to me to constantly need that reassurance and validation and checking. No, like, we're past that. Like,
100%.
You know, we're not those friends anymore. And it's hard, like, because you feel bad, but at the same time, it's like, if I have to set a boundary as well. We're not cool anymore. Is this it? Like, it's difficult. It still makes you feel uncomfortable, but it's like, I have to.
Mood. We're relatable as fuck.